Hello, I'm Mr. Plum. We are Plum and Plumber. And it's another weekend. Get in. You know what's next? Exciting news! Peugeot FIXED. ABS sensor. Now, as you know, I went round, certainly the rear ones, and I was convinced that, and Peugeot forum members were also in agreement, that because there is no voltage getting to the sensor, I had it in my head, it must be the controller. So, as you know, I got this. Now, I put that on the car, and then took one off the car off, and then got into the forum and they said, no, you've got to do it as a pair. You can't mix and match. I don't know why, because I did that on the Z3 and it worked fine. But they've got to go as a whole unit. So, as you know, I loosened these all off and I was going to loosen them off. And then I thought, I'm going to do some more research. You cannot do enough research. So I was Googling, and then I came across my angel in the sky. This is a Foxwell diagnostics tool. It's not Peugeot Planet, it's not Lexia, it's not Digibox. Foxwell saved my day, saved my bacon. It's a ODB, ABS, airbag, reset tool. Now, I thought, oh, do I pull the trigger on this? And I did. So I bought it. And booked it up to the car. And it said, rear, right side, ABS sensor, permanent fault. I thought, but I plugged the new one in and dangled it, and then I thought, well, it wasn't connected to a magnet, was it? It was just hanging there. So it's probably the reason why it didn't register, because it wasn't above a magnet. If I put it actually above a magnet, it might have registered. I don't know. So it said rear, right side, sensor, permanent fault. And it had a couple of transient faults on the front too, which I didn't test. So I thought, oh, wonders. So this thing goes through a whole pump routine. So it said, do you want to test all the devices? Like, well, that's what I bought it for. Of course I do. It said, right, do you want to test the ABS pump? Yes. And you go, oh, that's good. At least it's talking. And so I thought, well, let's go round and check all the wheels. And it said, well, if you want to check all these solenoids, you've got to have that corner up in the air. And I thought, oh, no. I'll do that in a bit. What I will do, I'll put in that new ABS, and I did something that I thought I'd never do. I managed to get out the old one without snapping it off. I thought, this is going to be a good day. Got the old one out, put the new one in, and clipped it all in, clipped it all around. I thought, right, before I clip it in properly, let's do the test. So, clipped it all up, airbag light was still on. And I thought, right, do the test. Right, so with a new one in, do you want to test the AC pump? Yes, F3 to go. Do you now want to test all the individual solenoid valves? Yes. Otherwise I'll be wasting my time. Right, to do the right rear, you've got to lift the front wheel up. What? Just do what it says. And you hear it go, whatever it's doing. It's obviously pressurising the brake fluid at the various solenoids around the car. And he said, do you want to test the right front? Yes. Lift that side of the car up. Do you want to test the rear? Yes. Lift that side of the car up. While keeping your foot on the brake, because you feel it going through, it pushes against your foot. Do you now want to test the right rear? This is the one I swapped out. Yes. Test complete. And I'll turn it on. Light was still on. I thought, actually it flashed. And I thought, what happens if I move the car? Moved it forward, moved it back. Moved it forward, moved it back. Turned it off, turned it back on again. And this is what you see. Happy plum. Light went off every time. Fucks wow. Oh, thank you so much. So that's it. Peugeot brakes done. I've now got to sort out a little bit of the suspension because I want to get it all nice and tidy under there. It's months for the MOT yet, but you know what these cars are like, old and crud, old and crusty. So I just want to get that all sorted, out of the way, nice and clean underneath. Then I can start painting that rear wheel arch, and then yeah, that's it, done with the Peugeot. Worth a slurp. Oh, proper English tea. Now, news. I've bought something else. Now, I'm not made of money. I'll save up for this sort of stuff. I'll say, right, I'll get that this month. I'll get that this month. I'll order this so it comes that month. These things don't just turn up at random, you know. So, you know I've been doing my zinc plating. And I'm trying to make a go of it. Let's put that broken ABS sensor up there. So, I've got my little homemade kit, which I've built up over several months with my hydrochloric acid. I've got my brighteners, I've got my passive aid, I've got my power supply, which is a mobile phone charger. I've got my little thing of deionized water, and I've got my zinc plating pickle, if you like, which is basically white vinegar and Epsom salts with the zinc plate in there, because you actually hang the plate. Now, you've seen it on hydrochloric acid. Put that back in there, brightness back in there. This comes in handy in a minute. So, I thought to myself, if you're going to have a go at this and you want those bolts to look as zinky as possible, I went full send on a zinc plating kit. Full send. From Kateros UK. That is a full zinc plating kit. Again, I didn't just buy it, I bought it in instalments. So, let's have a look, bit of unboxing. DC power supply unit. It ain't gonna be too long. Proper laboratory type power supply unit. Sort of stuff you had in colleges and schools. And you can control the amperage. That's the important thing, you control it. And in here, I've got 5 buckets, because all these buckets will then have different chemicals inside. Right, you can tell I'm getting a little bit excited. Get rid of that. So, that's a power supply for the heaters. So I've got fish tank heater, that heats up the zinc plating solution and keeps it about 30 degrees, which is what it's got to be. Gloves, won't use them. Goggles, won't use them. And now we come to it. Here's my strips of zinc, which they've sent me. Right, here we go. Ammonium chloride. So that fills up one whole bucket. Like Breaking Bad. dry acid pickle, that itches the surface just before you plate it. That's your alkaline cleaner, that's a degreaser. And there's your zinc chloride and hydritis, whatever that is. Yeah, that's your zinc chloride. And here's your brighteners and your passivate, and then your cleaners, and there's some copper wire in there. So yeah, went full Monty. Now the idea is each one of those bags fills up each one of these buckets, because these are 10-litre buckets. So you have degreaser bucket, dry acid pickle bucket, your zinc bucket, your ionised water bucket, and then your passivate bucket. So all these cleaners, and then you rinse them all off in between. So give you 5 buckets, and these are 10 litres each. I just got to get myself about 30 litres of deionised water. And then I can start mixing up that solution. I'm going to get a couple more heaters so that the degreaser is heated, the zinc is heated, and the passivate is heated. And then we can look at doing some proper zinc plating, and it will look a bit like this, hopefully. So, yeah, there we are. So, I'll keep it there. Successful day. Got the Peugeot back up and running. Got no lights on the dashboard at all now. So, all good. And it's sunny. And it's the afternoon. That means it's time for a gin. Once I finish that cup of tea.